Hello everyone, Carlos from CoinLata here, and today I asked my Magic 8 Ball if you're going to subscribe to this channel, and the Magic 8 Ball says yes. Unfortunately, you cannot see it, but it says yes. So remember, hit the subscribe button and also the like button if you find this content useful. So the topic of this video today is going to be a step-by-step guide, very easy to follow, and how you can borrow some Bitcoins, make them work for you, earn passive income, and actually farm airdrops. So we're going to cover all of that in this video, so make sure to watch it until the end. It helps me a lot. So let's begin. You've seen Aave. Probably you have heard of this application. This is one of the largest lending protocols on the Ethereum blockchain, but actually it is compatible now in different networks. I mean, you can implement this strategy if you find a better tool or a better asset to provide liquidity. And the coin that we're going to use in this video is going to be USDE. USDE is a stable coin of the INSANE protocol and is very well established in the Web3 ecosystem. And we're going to use this to borrow Bitcoins and actually claim Bitcoins to put them to work for us up to 5% APY, guys. There is no other platform that will give you 5% APY on Bitcoin, because you know Bitcoin, the APY of Bitcoin, if you want to put it to passive income, it's going to be less than 1% in most cases. Okay, so we're going to actually make good money here. So the first step is, of course, you're going to connect your wallet here to the Ethereum blockchain. So after you connect your wallet, you're going to click on dashboard, and then you're going to find this option that says assets to supply. This is going to be the assets on your wallet that you can supply to the Aave protocol. Okay, then you're going to hit this box here. Actually, you don't need to Aave to show you assets with zero balance because it's not worth it. You need to have some USDT in your wallet. You can have some Ethereum as well to pay gas fees. So this is going to be all the coins that we're going to use. So why we need USDT? I mean, you can actually buy USDE on different exchanges. You can swap USDT and USDC for USDE, but it's much better to actually, interact with the protocol and, make transactions and mint tokens and stuff. It's much better. Yes, you're going to spend a little bit on gas fees, but it's much better to actually transform, let's say, your USDT into USDE. So for that, once you have some Ethereums and some USDT on your wallet, then you're going to identify. So you're going to find the link in the description. All the links mentioned in this video is going to be in the description. And if you can't find it, it's going to be in the pinned comment of this video. So now I'm going to click on launch app, and it's going to show us this dashboard. Very easy to use actually. And now we're going to connect our wallet here. So in Ethereum, we have three options. We have the earn section, swap, and rewards. In the earn section is where you're going to supply USDE or ENA tokens to get the liquid token called SUSDE. This is actually a very good way because once you stake your USDE, you're going to earn passive income. Okay, it's going to give you an APY probably of 5.5%. That's kind of good. And then in swap, you have the two options right here. Here's where you're going to swap your USDT into USDE. And guys, try to use the Athena platform to swap your USDT into USDE. Do not withdraw your USDT or USDE from your exchange account or something. Try to use the DeFi application. Okay, this is much better because, for certain possible future airdrops, these airdrops counts your activity on the blockchain. And actually, remember that this is going to be a topic for another video, but MetaMask and other wallets are going to make their token. And if you transact with your wallets and if you use your wallets, then you're going to accumulate points for future airdrops. So try to use the DeFi applications. Okay. So here you can select USDT, you can select USDC from a lot of networks, but we are going to use USDT or USDC from the Ethereum network. So your tokens must be in the Ethereum network in your wallet. Okay. So for this example, I'm going to select the USDTs that I have here, and then I'm going to put everything max. And as you can see, it's going to give us $5.20. I mean, almost the same value because this is also a stable coin. So you're going to click on review swap. Then you're going to select start swapping. Remember, guys, to be on the website because you have to sign multiple times. If you're going to do this for your first time, you have to say multiple times in your wallet. So remember to not to close this website. So once you do your swap, you're going to see that you receive this amount of USDE tokens. So you have to click done. And then you can make a choice at this point. You can then stake your USDE into USDE. It's valid. Or you can use the USDE into the other platform. To make your choice easier, let's go back to other platform. So we're going to markets, then we're going to write here USDE, and then you're going to find that USDE actually provides a supply API. If you're new into this ecosystem or if you're a pro, let me explain that very shortly. The supply API means that you're going to earn this amount of money annually as interest paid daily. Okay. So for example, if I deposit $100, it means that I'm going to earn probably $9 per year. So the difference between these two actually is that with USDE alone, you're not producing anything unless you supply those USDE into the platform. But if you swap or if you stake your USDE into SUSDE, then in Athena platform, you're going to get some APIs, roughly 5.5% per year. Okay, but let's be honest, you prefer to have the higher supply API. So in this case, I'm going to select the USDE option. Okay, so I'm going to click right here, and then you can then click on supply. As you can see, we have 9% interest paid per year. We're going to farm Merkle points. This is another protocol, and actually we're getting 5x reward points on Athena. So it's like almost double airdrop farming just by supply this token into Aave. We're going to hit supply. Let's hit max and approve USDE to continue. Once you approve your USDE, now you can supply your USDE. So you have to first approve and then supply. So remember, let's click supply. And remember actually that these tokens are going to produce 3% per year. Okay, 3% per year on the supply. So where is the 9% then? Of course, it's 3% for USDE and the other, I believe, 5% or 6% is going to be for Merkle rewards. Okay, because now that you supply USDE, you're going to receive this token that's going to be ASUSDE, is a liquid token that represents your share into this vault. So remember to not to withdraw this, not to exchange this token, because then you cannot withdraw your money from here. Okay, so let's click on add to wallet. If your wallet doesn't support this token, then click here. Of course, I'm using Rabi wallet, so that's why it's supported and it's actually there. So I'm going to click cancel and now okay, close. So as you can see now, if I go to dashboard, then you're going to see that my supplies here. My supplies is the money that I have supplied to the ecosystem. So now these $5 are earning 9% per year with the Merkle rewards. That's going to be 5%. And the protocol itself is paying me 3.39% API based on this balance. So with this in mind, remember to take this number in mind is the protocol API because this is the most functional number that we're going to use for the strategy. Now, in the dashboard, you're going to see this section called assets to borrow. So this is tokens that are available for us to borrow. Okay, so we can use them using our money here as collateral. So it means that the platform is going to block this balance and will allow us to withdraw this money and use it anywhere, any moment we want. So what we're going to do to make this strategy very profitable, make sure that the API listed here is less than the API listed here. So if you compare, for example, Ethereum has an API of 2.38% and our USDE position is paying us 3.39%. So if you do the math, you're going to see that there is a difference, a positive difference in our side, okay? Because this API is actually negative. This API is the fee that you have to pay to Aave per year. Okay, so the less the number here, the better. But I said that we're going to withdraw Bitcoins, right? So because we're going to use Bitcoins to actually make money and make passive income and farm more airdrops. So that's what I'm going to do. But before that, if anything in this video actually helps you understand and is very well explained, let me know that in the comments and actually hit me up with the thumbs up in this video. Actually, it will help me to grow this channel. I'm going to select Bitcoin. So, but which Bitcoin I want to withdraw? As you can see, there are several Bitcoins and you're wondering why there are more Bitcoins. What does it mean? Actually, every Bitcoin besides this wrap Bitcoin are from protocols. So for example, this CB Bitcoin is a Bitcoin version of Coinbase. This TBTC is a Bitcoin version of Tensor. This FBTC is a Bitcoin version of Function. It's another protocol. So which Bitcoin we have to use? You can use actually any Bitcoin you want, but for my case, for example, if you compare this F Bitcoin is the one that has the lowest rates, okay, for borrowing. I mean, you're going to pay very little money if you borrow FBTC. But to take notes which Bitcoin you want to choose, we have to go to the next platform. So the next platform is called Solve Finance, and this is a project focused entirely on the Bitcoin yield generation. So it's a protocol that is, of course, baked by Binance, Chainlink, and many big names in the industry that only focus on generating wealth in Bitcoin, generating income using only Bitcoin. So this is actually one of the best projects you can use. If you have some Bitcoin stored, you can use Solve Finance to actually put your Bitcoins to work for you, because actually Bitcoin itself doesn't have this option. But thanks to L2s, Ethereum, smart contracts, now it's possible. So I'm going to use Solve Finance. Sorry, you can use the link in the description if you want to support this channel. And as you can see, Solve Finance has his own version of Bitcoin that's called Solve BTC. The risk involved into all these Bitcoins tokens that you find, for example, TBTC, CBBTC, FBTC, and others, is that, like I said, all those Bitcoins belongs to the platform, okay? So if the platform goes down or if the platform is hacked or something, then your Bitcoins are going to, basically, you're going to lose all your Bitcoins. The same happens for Solve Binance, but in this case, for Solve Finance, it's a very good platform. It's actually a very respectable platform that you can use to put your Bitcoins to work. So in this case, they have this Solve BTC that is a token minted by them. And you can use Solve BTC in many different blockchains networks. And as you can see, you can deposit TBTC, CBBTC, FBTC, and WBTC to get Solve Bitcoins. The thing is, which Bitcoins you have to use in order to receive Solve Bitcoins. So you have to actually make some investigation, some research to see which of these platforms are actually very good and trustable for you, so you can actually convert or use their Bitcoin versions. If you ask me, the most safe option is going to be W Bitcoin, because W Bitcoin is basically the best representation of Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain and many other L2 blockchains. So this is going to be actually the best option if you want to go safe, okay? But if you want to pay the less interest possible, then you can use Coinbase version, or you can use FBTC, okay? But as you can see in Aave, we have the same amount of borrowing limits for all the coins listed here. So in this case, just for testing purposes, I'm going to select FBTC. So we're going to click borrow here, and I'm going to borrow, for example, not the maximum amount. Let's borrow this amount. As you can see, I don't suggest you, and I never try to borrow the maximum amount of money. Why? Because as you can see, we have an health factor here, and this health factor is a number that is, if it goes below 1, like it says here, it's going to produce a liquidation smart contract activation. That means that if the number goes below 1, you lose your money. So it's always better to not withdraw that, but let's say to have a positive number above 1 point, for example, 1.10 and above. In this case, we're using 1.15, but let's go a little bit lower, like this one. This is a much better number. If it can go 2 or more, it's much better. So let's click, for example, 1. Yeah, this amount is much better because we have 3.46. But how this health factor affects your position. Since we are actually supplying USDE, this is a stable coin, this coin is not going to affect the borrowing limits that we have on Aave. The thing is that if the price of the coin goes down, is much better for you because your debt is going to be lower. But what happens if the coin then raises and goes up? This is a risk that you have to think about. If the coin goes up, then your liquidation or your health factor could drop because, of course, your supply is the same, but the amount of money that you borrow is, the conversion rate is increased. For example, let's say if I deposit $10 and let's say I'm going to borrow F Bitcoin here and I borrow this amount. Let's, for example, select. Let's suppose I'm going to borrow $2 of Bitcoin right now. The thing is that this amount is worth $2.24 at this moment. But what happens if Bitcoin goes to 1 million? Then this amount is going to be like $20. Okay. So it means that your debt is going to be higher. So your health factor is going to decrease. That is the logic between these platforms of lending and borrowing. And it's the risk that you have to think about before doing this strategy. So this strategy is not for long term, but actually for mid-term earnings. Okay, so take that in mind. So I'm going to use now F Bitcoins and I'm going to borrow, let's say this amount, 2.5. Yeah, this amount. I acknowledge, borrow F BTC. Once we click that, platform is going to block a certain amount of our supplied money and give us these F Bitcoins directly into our wallets. So I'm going to click add to wallet here, select Ethereum, and the token is already supported by Rally. So click play and close. Now we have these Bitcoins here to supply. You see, now this is already in my wallet. So now I can go back to Solve Finance and I can deposit F Bitcoins here into Solve Bitcoins. And what this is doing, actually, we are farming points with this. So for every amount of Bitcoins that you deposit here, you're going to mint points. At these points, I'm going to be converted at some point into Solve airdrop or another airdrops that the platform probably has plans to. So I'm going to connect wallet here. Yeah, I confirm. Let's select Ravi wallet. Okay, now my wallet is connected. I'm going to select F Bitcoins here. And here you can supply the entire amount of Bitcoins if you want. So I'm going to hit max and approve. Now this step is necessary because we have to use the Solve Bitcoin to use their new product called Bitcoin Plus. That's going to earn 5% API. Okay. At this point, actually, you can leave this like this because for every Solve BTC that you hold in your wallet, you're going to receive this amount of points. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You can then use the Solve BTC that we're going to receive into their product called BTC Plus, or you can stake the Solve BTC into X Solve BTC to use in other DeFi protocols, or you can supply Solve BTC and BTC into Uniswap and earn trading fees. I mean, you have a wide range of options to actually make money, passive income, and farm airdrops. But for our purpose here in this video, now since I already have this Solve BTC, I'm going to click deposit. Okay, I'm depositing now. Since I now will have this Solve BTC in my wallet. You can see that if I click withdraw, you can see that I now have this amount of Solve BTC in my wallet. So now I have to go back to product, select BTC Plus, and now select here deposit, select Ethereum mainnet, select now all the Solve BTC, and now it's going to be converted into BTC Plus. And for depositing or for having this BTC Plus in our wallet, we're going to receive 6 times points per BTC in the vault. So we're now farming even more points for future airdrops. Okay. And we can also claim Solve tokens for this strategy. Isn't that amazing? And as you can see, we have here a TVL. Actually, take in mind this. We have a TVL TVL of 1000 BTC. It means that if this TVL is fully completed, is fully up to 1000 BTC, then we cannot use this strategy anymore. Okay, so take this in mind because this is actually increasing very fast. So now we hit deposits, we approve, and then we deposit, and that's it. That's a strategy. But actually, what is BTC Plus? You may wonder. Why is this token earning 5% per year in API? And how is that possible? It's because BTC Plus actually is made of a bundle of tokens by Solve Finance. As you can see, the BTC Plus is made of solvebtc.trading, solvebtc, solvebtc.job, .bnb, and .dlp. DLP is the meaning of DLP is delta neutral positions. Okay, that means that they are shortening Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin spot. It's a very easy strategy to understand. And this solvebtc.bnb is their Bitcoin version on the Binance Smart Chain, and this one is for their BTC token into the Solana blockchain, and that's it. And the Sol BTC trading is the BTCs that they use to trade, and the profits are then distributed into this pool. Okay, and as you can see, there is no fees, nothing, just a small 0.3% fees, and there is no more else fees, as you can see here. So, and of course, there are risks associated with the BTC Plus. Of course, impermanent loss, security, and stuff. So remember, this is not a financial advice, just a strategy that I am sharing with you guys. But the best thing is that actually it has low fees and the earnings are paid daily. Of course, these earnings in Solve tokens are going to be paid when the campaign ends. In this case, the campaign ends on 31 of October. So after 31 October, you can claim your Solve BTC, your Solve tokens, sorry. And that's it. Okay. Now, this BTC Plus, you cannot use them in other protocols. You have to hold those Bitcoins in your wallet in order to receive the points, in order to receive the Solve tokens, and in order to receive this 5% API. Just these triple rewards, farming airdrops, and actually passive income. Very easy. Now, the Solve BTC or the X version of the Solve BTC is a liquid token of the Solve BTC token. Okay, and how you can use it? Actually, very easy. You can go here to Vaults or DeFi, for example, and then you have all the options, for example, to use the Solve BTC and earn much better APIs. Okay, for example, in BNB chain, you can supply, let's see, here on Soneum, farm points and get 7% API on X Solve BTC. So you have a wide options here. Let me know in the comments if you want me to explain how to actually make more strategies for XSolve BTC or BTC trading or the other pairs of BTC Solve BTC tokens that Solve Finance have. And remember that actually this BTC Plus is earning 5% per year, and our debt using, in this case, FBTC as the supply token in Aave is less than 0.01%. So we have a very good API, positive API for our strategy. So let me know in the comments. So I hope this video actually helped you understand a little bit better about how Solve by BTC Finance works, how Aave works, and how this liquid staking and yield farming works to make passive income and actually make more money in the future with airdrops. See you in the next time.